Hey people, welcome to Case Money Matters, and here we talk about the money mindset, how to earn that money, how to manage that money, how to enjoy that money, how to invest that money, and how to assure yourself of a lifetime of consistent income and of course financial freedom. Welcome once again, and today we're gonna do something interesting, something most people would like to do. Everyone wants to retire early. Everyone wants to stop working as early as possible. And there's this movement called FIRE. I've done a video on it earlier, but I want to do another video just looking at the principles of FIRE. FIRE here means financial independence, retire early. It is just basically a movement of people who want to live frugally, work hard, save as much as possible, and ensure that they retire by the age of 30 or 40, 35, it doesn't matter. It depends on where you start, it depends on when you start, it depends on your goals. So some people want to retire after 20 years, some after 10 years, some even after 5 years. But you have to have a plan of how to go about it. So I want to look at the principles of FIRE. FIRE is basically a movement that has really caught traction recently, and it is quite common and quite popular among young people because everyone wants to retire early. And retire doesn't just mean that you need to sit at home and do nothing. No, it means you have options. And me, what I always say about financial freedom is that it gives me options. It gives you the option to do whatever you want with your time. And because I've gone through this personally, the fact that I haven't been working for anyone for some time, I know that it's very possible to make money and not work for anyone else. Have your time and have the money, because I've gone through this already. So I know it's possible, and I know how important it is for you to have your own time, to have your own freedom, and to have the freedom towards your energy too. I'm one person who doesn't like, being constant in a box. My mind thinks of so many things at all times, and I want to achieve different goals in life. So I don't want someone to be putting me in a box 9 to 5. I have to be a particular place doing a particular thing for 20 years of my life. It's just not possible with me. And I know there are so many people out there who think the same way. So this is just a group of people who just don't want to be put in that situation. So I don't want to retire basically, but I want to be free to do what I want. I love traveling, for example. I love teaching finance, for example, and making sure that people know what they're doing with their money, and investing and achieving best returns. And this is what I want to do. I don't want to be put in a box doing something I don't like from 9 to 5. That's what I don't like. So a lot of people are in this movement, and a lot of people want to achieve this freedom, and it's more to do with the freedom than to do with retirement. So when people say retirement early, it doesn't mean you sit back at home. It just means you want to have freedom to do whatever you want to do. So what are some of the principles of FIRE? What are some of the principles of this movement? How do you follow it, and how do you make this plan and be successful in it? It doesn't matter where you're beginning, it doesn't matter where you want to retire, but what are some of the certain principles that guide this movement? So just before I mention the principles, I have mentioned before that there are different types of FIRE. There's the lean FIRE, there's the barista FIRE, there's the fat FIRE. So all of them just depends, like I said, it depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to live for you to achieve what outcome. So in lean FIRE, they go for completely frugal means whereby they want to retire as early as possible. There's fat FIRE, which of course that is not very frugal, they are not very extremely minimalistic, and they just want to retire early, but they want to do a few things, they want to have a normal life. And of course then there's the barista FIRE, which basically means you want to retire, but you still want to work part-time or freelance. You don't want to sit back at home. So basically, as long as you can achieve that life, you can achieve independence to allow you to do other things, you don't really mind. So there are different levels of FIRE, and I'm not going to go into that because I've done that in a different video, and you can watch it in the link below or somewhere here. So what are some of the principles of FIRE? Number one, you have to make a plan. If you want to retire, one thing I always tell people, know the value of your retirement. How much do you need to retire? You can't talk about retirement early if you don't even know how much money you need. Right now, if you ask me how much I need for me to retire, I will tell you. And a lot of people always tell them, what you need to know. Be aware. That's the first step. You can't just talk about early retirement. Know how much you need to retire. How much is your retirement worth? How much do you actually spend yearly? And then how much do you need for you to live normally without actually going to work? So make a plan. Know this is how much I need, and this is where I am at the moment, and this is how to get there. That's the plan. Basically, you have to sit down, write down your goals, and know where you're going to. So in making a plan, of course, you want to look at, what is your income currently? What are your expenses? Like I've done in my budgeting video. You want to know everything about your money. You want to track your money. You want to understand and manage your money better. And that's how you make a plan. And because by managing your money better, you're already making a path or a journey towards financial freedom or financial independence. So yes, a plan is important. Number two, you have to reduce your spending. Of course, you want to reduce your spending. You have to make sure that you're living as frugally as possible to meet your goals. Now, frugal here is also very personal. It depends on your goals and when you want to retire. But like I said, there are those who go for complete frugal. They basically own nothing. So they save like almost 70 to 80% of their income. If you're getting 100,000, you're saving almost 90,000. You're only spending 10,000 in a month or in a year. That depends on how you get it. They go for complete, extreme, minimalistic lifestyle and save as much as possible to reduce the amount of time they have to retire. So you have to reduce your spending. There's no way you can be spending extravagantly and still aiming to retire early, unless you're doing like so many different jobs, which is not possible because you only have a limited amount of time. So yes, when it comes to FIRE, you have to reduce your spending. There's no two way about it. You have to make sure that you keep your expenses low and your savings high. Third principle is you must stay out of debt. You must aim to stay out of debt. Of course, debt is always consuming you. Debt is always consuming your interest. I always tell people that, you know what, despite how good a debt is, the fact is, if you invested, for example, in the stock market or in the bond market, or whatever it is you invested in, the interest you're earning is likely lower than your debt. It means your debts will be earning more interest on them than the interest you're earning from your investment. So it beats logic. So in this case, it means you need to ensure that you stay out of debt so that your investments are purely investments. And they do not have to be liquidated so as to sort out a debt. It is important to aim to stay out of debt. So by living minimally, you also ensure you don't stay in debt at any moment. If you want to achieve financial independence as early as possible, you don't want to be paying debt instead of saving the money. So there are many aspects to not staying in debt. First of all, it's the aspects of investment whereby you're losing. It's a losing game. And second, of course, you want to ensure that you are spending as much as possible on putting in an investment and not on some debt or some loan. And then you need to increase your income. This is important. So sometimes you may want to find a second job, find another passive income source, but it's important to increase your income. So for you to reduce the time, you're going to have to save the money and invest the money and get the amount of money you need. You may have to up your income. So either you will have to work more hours, you will have to get a different job, you will have to get a passive income, you may have to have a side hustle. It doesn't matter how you're going to do it, but it's important that you increase your income as possible. But this can also depend on different people. Because again, if you have enough income and you've done the calculations and you're able to live well below your means and your money is enough to take you wherever you want to go within the number of years you want, then in that case, you don't have to receive your income. You just need to cut off everything else and make sure that you save as much as possible. And by the way, this is multifaceted in that if you get another job or another side hustle, it's more energy you're spending, it's more time you're spending, right? And getting that money. But if you cut down your expenses and get that money off what you already have, you're saving yourself twice. You're saving yourself money, time, and energy, of course. And the money you're saving is going to help you in two phases, in that you don't have to work more for it, but you have it. And again, it also means in the future, when you're calculating the amount of money you need for your retirement, these things you've cut off don't have to be in that count. So in that sense, you have reduced the amount of money you need for your retirement. So you see, you have to just play with the numbers, look at your situation, look at your individual circumstances, and make sure that you're not so rigid on what I'm saying. You have to make it attuned to your situation. So like I say, make sure you increase your income. It's very important. Then of course, another principle, which is number 5, you want to invest your money. Now, there's no way you want to save this money in the bank and achieve financial freedom. That's going to take you much longer. You want your money to be working for you. You want to be working, but you also want your money to be working for you. So ensure that your money is invested somewhere that you can actually get some considerable returns. Maybe double your money, triple your money, whatever. There are so many investment vehicles where you can do this. So you have to save your money. You have to find a good investment vehicle that meets your risk attitude, that meets your objectives and goals, and invest that money. That way you are able to also ensure that in the future when you retire, you're not using the cash that you saved, because in this retirement you have to use money that is invested, and your expenses should be coming from what you're earning from your investment. Remember, if you save the money and you put it in the bank and start using it and stop working, chances are you will use that money very fast and it will run out, despite how minimalistic you are. You want to have the money working for you, getting you more money that can pay your expenses. That's how you retire early. You don't retire by spending what you have in cash or in a bank account. So make sure your money is invested, and it's invested the right way. I've done a video on how to invest successfully, so many videos. You can watch those ones if you want to start this journey now. It doesn't matter where you are. It's possible to start this journey now and attain early retirement or financial freedom or whatever you want to call it. So how much money do you actually need for you to retire early? This depends on your situation, depends on your expenses, and it depends on, you know, how much you need to feel comfortable in your life. So they say that you just need to multiply your annual expenses by 25, and then that's the amount you need for your early retirement. Now, if you have that invested in a stock market, giving you some kind of average returns, which has always been touted to be 8%, you can withdraw at least 4% of that money without ever running out. So it's some calculation that has to be done behind it. So whatever it is, you need to multiply whatever you're earning, multiply it by 25, have the total amount you need for your retirement, and then that has to be invested and achieve a certain amount of returns every year for you to live off it without ever running out. Of course, this varies and depends on everyone. I know a lot of people have a different rule. There's the rule of 200. They're all different. But what I'm saying is find something that works for you and know how much you actually need for your own case. This is just an example of what you can use. So you can use this particular example and withdraw 4% of your investment every single year as your expenses, and you will never run out. It works. It has worked for some people. And of course, some people also have higher expectations and higher goals, so they have to do more or save more. Otherwise, guys, I hope you understand the principles of FIRE. If you want to begin this journey, I applaud you and I support you. And if you need any clarification, feel free to approach me, talk through it, you know, guide you through it. You will achieve this goal for sure. Thank you, guys.